Today we are going to make a yeast rising bread with the Breads from Anna mix. So what I've set out today are a few key items. You're going to need to add eggs, water, and oil and proofed yeast to the bread. And I have two different pans that we're going to use. You can get a regular non-stick metal pan or a cast iron enamel coated pan. Either of these work really well. And today, because this is the most commonly used, I'm going to start with this. I have gotten my warm water and I took a temperature reading on it with this digital read thermometer, and it's at about 112 degrees, which is just right. So now that we have our warm water, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey to this. And you can use maple, whatever sweetener you prefer. If you prefer sugar, I just generally only use maple or honey as my sweetener. So now that we have our half a cup of warm water, 2 tablespoons of honey, we are going to add the yeast packet, which is included with the mix. And you pour this in, and you give that a quick stir. And set that aside for about 10 minutes. And while that is proofing, we are going to go ahead and pull together the other wet ingredients we need and prep our pan. Like I said, I'm going to use this metal pan. You can use a variety of pans, but these are the most easy to find and tend to give consistently good results. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this pan, this bowl that comes in the mixer, and if your bowl is cold, fill it with warm water, as you can see that I did, because you want the dough to be in a nice warm environment. I recommend that you make sure your eggs are really fresh, and I always use large or jumbo eggs, and the total egg measurement should be between 2/3 and 3/4 cup. You're going to want to add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I just use Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Okay, and now we're going to add 1/4 cup of oil. Just add all this together. So now I'm going to add 3/4 cup of warm water. And I'm going to take all of this over to the countertop mixer. And you just turn this on a very low speed to blend the eggs and the water and the oil and apple cider vinegar. And then we're going to slowly add the flour. Give that a second to become well combined. And you're going to see that the dough is going to start off very thick, and as you beat it, it will thin out. Okay, now that that's all combined, I'm going to gently or slowly increase the speed. We're now just over 3 minutes, so I am going to unlock the head and tilt it up. And basically you're not going to be able to really pour it. You just kind of scoop it in. So I'm going to just gently kind of push this in to make it as even as possible. And this will naturally spread out itself, so you don't have to fiddle with it too much. And now I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so I've gotten a piece of wax paper here. I've put a little bit of oil on it, and now I'm going to place it on top of the bread, and I'm going to set it aside in a non-drafty part of the kitchen to let it rise. And I'm going to give this 90 minutes, see how it is. If it's double in bulk, we'll put it in a hot oven at 375, or we'll give it another half hour. And generally, always within 2 hours, you have of bread that's doubled in bulk. So now it is ready to go into our hot oven. Okay, so you want to get the bread out of the pan as soon as you can. Just flip it over and then just sit it on a cooling rack, and do your best not to cut into it for an hour because it will cause it to collapse. It's delicious warm, but give it an hour and it will still be warm and a better time to cut it.